earlier this morning. In the third hour of this morning, CMSF got hit by surprise sneak attack by American Special Forces. Its destruction, along with others like it, have opened an air corridor enabling further ground forces to strike at Nuway airfield. Warning got out in time. The garrison is mobilized. 2 platoons are ready to move out and reinforce the defense of the airfield itself. They are being rushed in BTRs from the town of Nuway. Supporting them are tanks from the regular army. It is a race against time. The enemy is probably flying in more troops as we muster our forces for this day's battles. Denying the Americans the airfield is crucial, but if they take it, they can bring in heavier equipment and secure more reinforcements. The massacre of CMSF must not be repeated. This is where we stop. Nuway Airport. C Company's 2 platoons arrived just in time as the Americans assault the airfield. Riding forwards in Humvee trucks, heavy weapons on full auto, the Americans charged towards our defenders. They enjoy the support of at least 2 attack helicopters. The shock and awe assault from the American choppers and Humvees has devastating effect on the airfield's defenders. Many lose hope and surrender immediately. The onslaught is merciless. One of C Company's platoons set up in ditches south of the terminals. Engineer Company rushes to face the assault, but the helicopters catch them in the open. Half of them are mauled. The other half is heading south. Amir and Caleb heroically defend the fuel silos. Having Having scored a kill this early gives me confidence and hopefully sends a message. This will be a fight, a battle. But defiance is paid for in blood. Their comrades hurry into position to face the attack. But the Cobra's wrath finds them exposed. The invaders have breached the fuel silos to the north. My men try to cordon off the area and keep them contained. It is a difficult task. My men are still in shock and awed by the American sudden appearance. The north side is close to routing already, 5 minutes into the fight, and the Americans are breaching through the perimeter. Men are slain, surrendered, or running. But one of C Company's BTRs plugs the hole, firing from the cover of trees. To the south, the Americans have entered the orchard. From there, they will likely breach north towards the hangars and machine shops. The other half of the engineer company goes to face them. We will breach into the orchard from the west and counterattack. The enemy has set up an overwatch position north of the fuel silos. I will not allow it. Excellent. We are starting to make them pay. The sounds of many intruders can be heard from across the wall. They think they will surprise us. They are mistaken. I'm scrambling my northern defenses. BTRs and garrison infantry are ordered to slow down and stop the enemy. But the enemy is numerous, and their firepower overwhelming. But they are not immortal. We are getting some kills in. They shall learn to fear death. The counterattack is a disaster. My men are slaughtered. I sent in armored support. C Company's southern platoon is sent into the fray. In the north, I try to stabilize the front. One squad of airborne relocate from the offices to the terminal building. At the orchard, the BTR shows its worth. It gets taken out fairly easily. The second one will use the first one as cover. Engineers' second platoon moves further south to make another breach. The north assault seems to be slowing down around the silos. The Humvees play a seesaw game with extreme fire support. The wrecked BTR was as useful as cover as it was at suppressing the enemy. We must hurry up and make another breach. I tried to return some pain on the northern assault, but the Americans use my own tricks against me. They have made a second breach. They attack the building. My cowering men offer no resistance. Despite how it looks, I am feeling hopeful. Orders from above dictate that we must delay the Americans for 20 minutes longer. I believe we can do that, at great cost, but we can do that. With the first of the three terminals conquered, the Americans rush forwards. They may have gained ground in the north, but in the south, they are stuck in the orchard and about to suffer another flanking attack. Breach teams immediately come under fire. I aim to flood the orchard with men, disrupt their attack. I fear we will water the grape trees with many liters of Syrian blood in the process. North side, my BTRs host the Americans with the machine guns. We keep on the advance, despite that. They are in a hurry to clear the terminals. but that will require close combat with my waiting airborne infantry. An impressive show. Not. The hastily built defenses in the middle offer little protection, at least against death from above. The orchard is turning into a major firefight, and I feel we are no longer losing men at the same rate as we did before. Interesting. Perhaps it is the anti-air garrison's thirst for vengeance that drives them to fight, to make the Americans pay. It is closing in on 15 minutes since the attack began. Airplanes have entered Darani airspace and wait for the airfield to be secured. We will force them to return to their own airfields. We will hold our ground until their fuel runs out and they drop from the sky. More breaches into the orchard are being prepared, now from the north. The terminals in the center come under fire. Only one squad remains of the northern defenders. They are supported by the BTRs in the center and from the patch of woods. And the Americans and their war trucks creep closer with their superior firepower. I want the northern breach to be right beside that building, with the Americans distracted from the south and west. I will charge into close combat and annihilate them. A second western breach will open up another firing lane to suppress the house. The northern team has a moment of doubt. Defying orders, they retreat. Get back to the wall! We cannot afford any more cowardice. Humvees on the north side begin firing on my troops on the south side. My tripwire squad feels the brunt of it. The Orchard Fortress engages in a firefight from multiple directions. North of the machine shops I have entrenched troops, now partaking in the battle by being utterly slaughtered. It is a bit of a surprise how little protection the trenches provide. Storm the breach. Take the orchard. Or not. It was only the plan. But the men are not motivated enough for daring heroics. there is a silver lining in opening up another firing lane and causing casualties. While I am moderately pleased with the southern active defense, I am not doing as good in the north. There I have fewer men and they are under greater pressure. One squad stands against a tide of Marines and their Humvees. At the hangars, I have more luck in answering the four-wheeled threat, and despite losing some ground, I managed to inflict casualties. So I focus my forces there, sending more men to meet the attackers. The south and center will be my Alamo. My northern troops try to give a good fight, but are mainly forced to keep their heads down. The last squad from Terminal Platoon seems surprisingly motivated. They make their last stand in the Welcome Center. I lose another BTR. Down south around the orchard, the Americans turn the heat up. I am certain they are about to make a move. The sudden increase in violence foreshadows an imminent attack. My troops will face their toughest test. We have suffered many casualties fighting over the orchard, and soon we must accept the fact that we cannot contain them there. We must prepare the second line of defense, or abandon it. Get back! My disappointment with trenches grows with every moment. They seem ineffective against any kind of incoming fire. The North Terminal Squad still holds out. It pleases me. But the Americans are amassing forces and preparing the battlefield. My men in the orchard are either dead or broken. I should try to pull back the survivors. The southern assault has begun, with terrifying effect. The airborne lose hope. Many surrender. Orchard survivors pull back. I could use them further north. And truth, they're out. Run away. No retreat order was given. Airborne infantry around the machine shops brace for becoming assaulted. Except for those guys. terminal squad holds strong. No! The squad is breaking. They should hold fast. They were the gatekeepers for the center. If they break, the Americans will threaten my core. And with the mass surrenders in the south, it leaves only a few heroes to hold the line. And hold the line the most. Hold against the storm. Hold for more time. Center terminals are being suppressed by enemy fire. The intensity of it has forced my defenders to the ground floor, where they cower. North Platoon is mostly destroyed or surrendered, but one man stands. He sees the Americans mount up in trucks. No doubt, they aim to shift their troops to the center or south hangars, to bolster their assault and give weight to their increasing presence. We have lost the orchard, and the Americans aim to exploit, but Garrison Company's BTR hoses the breach with its 50 cal. My remaining warriors at the hangars fight on. Their surrendering companions watch. This is not an even or fair fight. The firepower disparity is great. I lose men. Soon I will lose ground. But it is time that we fight for. Time to muster, to organize. Time for all of the C-130s to run out of fuel and return to their own base. Time that we will pay for in blood and sacrifice. Gathering what little courage he has left, Nadim rushes to his brother to gather what ammo his body hides. It is not looting if it keeps you shooting. The Americans have expanded the breach into the orchard. They are ramping up the pressure. They are desperate to capture the airfield. Nadim has found a few grenades, missing the AK and all of its ammo, for it is dark and confusing in the hangar. Having lost his sense of direction, he wildfires into the wrong quadrant. Then, hearing the noise of the breach team to his south, he turns. But his situation is hopeless, and he wants to live. Further north, things are looking bleak. Men are dying, breaking, losing hope. But we must buy more time. We desperately sent in all reserves. The Americans are advancing on all fronts. We must rally the broken and surrendering men. Everyone needs to stand and fight. Endure the storm for a little longer. Enemy advances on the machine shops. We score a hit, but we need more. You men, take up arms and give them more.
Contact, enemy infantry.
Yes. In the nick of time, my men pulled through, gaining a small victory and a prisoner. The South will hold. Hold as long as possible. Hold as long as needed. But now, a tidal wave of Marines assault from the north. They are too late. Their airplanes are turning around. Our sacrifice has paid off. We held them for long enough. My remaining men are allowed to scatter or surrender. Survive any way they can. Of the 80 still standing, I expect to see less than half of them again. 240 are lost, maybe more. But despite the terrible losses, we will call this a success. The Americans are delayed in their machinations. We will have time to prepare. Now go and check out OnePing's only account of this action. Thank you for watching.